We've all been there, excited to adopt the latest tech for our business, convinced it's the key to efficiency and growth, only to find out a few months down the line that it's creating more problems than solutions. Whether you've invested in software, hardware, or a whole tech stack, you're far from alone if you've regretted some of those choices. In fact, according to Gartner, 60% of software buyers say they regret their purchase. That's a staggering number. Well, today I'm sharing 5 of the biggest tech purchase regrets small business owners, myself not excluded, and leaders of nonprofit organizations have made. Regardless of how big or small your company is or the industry you're in, making the right tech decisions can mean the difference between success and, in some cases, all-out mayhem. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I'll give you some practical tips on warning signs to look out for before you make that next big tech purchase. Let's get started. One of the biggest mistakes small businesses make when adopting new technology is overspending. We see a shiny new tool and throw money at it, but somehow miss fully specifying the kind of practical ROI results we're expecting to see. For example, you're running a small nonprofit focused on animal rescue. Cute. You see marketing automation tool with the bells and whistles, AI-driven marketing campaigns, automated social media posts, advanced audience segmentation. It all sounds amazing, right? But after spending thousands of dollars, you realize that your small team only uses basic email newsletters and simple social media posts. All the advanced features you paid for go unused. Not only are you wasting money, but your team is overwhelmed with a tool that's too complex for your actual needs. Here's another example. A small bakery is convinced that they need a state-of-the-art POS that integrates everything from inventory management to customer loyalty programs. They invest heavily, but after 6 months, they're still only using the system for basic transactions because they don't have the resources to train their staff on the other features. Meanwhile, they're stuck with monthly fees for a system they're barely scratching the surface of. Key takeaway? Always ask yourself, will this tool solve my most immediate and deep-rooted problems, or am I getting excited about features I won't use? Sometimes simpler and cheaper is more effective. Another common mistake is poor integration. You implement a new tool, but it doesn't fit into your existing workflow. For example, a small retail store decided to implement a new inventory management tool. The software was great on its own, but it wasn't compatible with their existing e-commerce platform. As a result, they had to manually update stock levels on both systems, leading to inventory discrepancies, lost sales, and frustrated customers. The time spent manually fixing these errors ate into any efficiency gains the software was supposed to provide. Or in another example, and this is one I'm personally guilty of, I decided to adopt a CRM system to better manage and track my customer relationship. But after implementation, I realized this particular CRM didn't integrate with my existing accounting software. So not only did I have to figure a weird and awkward workaround to avoid inputting my customer and financial data twice over, I also created a situation in which I was risking creating new errors because of my workaround. In hindsight, I really should have made sure I chose a CRM that could integrate seamlessly with my accounting tool. So the lesson learned here, when adopting new tech, always consider how it will fit with your existing systems. Compatibility is key. Otherwise, you're just creating more work for yourself. Research, research, research. Not doing enough research is a common mistake. You jump into buying a tool without reading reviews or talking to others who've used it. Or you've only looked at the majority of positive reviews and figure, how could so many be wrong? If it works for all of them, then it must be good enough to work for my needs, right? Well, that's what one startup who purchased a popular project management tool thought, because the tool had great marketing. But after implementing it, they realized the software is overly complex, carried additional costs to unlock certain features they actually needed. So as a result, the majority of the team found it too difficult to use. After 3 months, they were still scrambling to figure out how to use the software without incurring extra fees they hadn't budgeted for. If they had read more user reviews or asked other businesses in their network, they could have realized that this tool not only had a steep learning curve, but also a confusing price model related to storage and other integration. Or imagine a nonprofit organization runs into issues with their donor database and urgently needs a donor management software tool. In a rush, they buy the first solution that has overall the most positive reviews and that looks good. But after implementation, they realize that it has limited reporting capabilities. What they really needed was in-depth reporting to analyze donor trends over time. But because they didn't fully research the software, they ended up with a product that doesn't meet their long-term needs. I can't say this enough. Never rush into a tech decision. Do your homework, read reviews, talk to other businesses, make use of the expertise and efforts of a business architect. But whatever you do, make sure the product meets your most make or break needs before signing the dotted line. So you implement a tool that's a game changer for you, but your team struggles with it. What do I mean? Well, let's say you run a small nonprofit with a team of volunteers. You decide to adopt a task management tool that's great for you as the leader. You can easily assign tasks, track progress, but the volunteers, many of whom are less tech savvy, find it confusing and difficult to use. Productivity actually decreases because the team spends more time figuring out the software than actually getting work done. The problem? The tool didn't fit the skill set of your team. Or maybe you're a small business owner who, like me, also adopted a sophisticated CRM system. But in this instance, you didn't realize that your sales team is more comfortable with a basic tool. They got frustrated trying to navigate the complex CRM, and as a result, stopped using it altogether. In the end, your business loses track of important customer data because the system was too advanced for your team's needs. What's the takeaway here? Well, when adopting new tech, we need to consider who will be using it. If it's too complex for your team, they won't use it effectively and the tool will be wasted. In working with one client, they confessed to me that they regretted not having a backup plan when they experienced downtime with their website. Here's the story. The same small e-commerce business had just experienced a website crash during their biggest sale of the year when they came to me. They had no backup system in place, and as a result, they lost thousands of dollars in sales. A simple backup plan, like using secondary server or even setting up a manual order taking system, could have saved them from this disaster. Or in another instance, a nonprofit organization running an online donation campaign had their website go down. And of course, without a backup system, they couldn't collect donations for several hours, resulting in a significant loss of potential funding. If they had set up a temporary backup page or alternative donation platform, they could have mitigated the damage. So always prepare for the worst. A decent backup plan can mean the difference between a temporary setback and a potentially long-term crisis. Hey, the more you know. So I know that was a lot, but here are the key lessons learned you can take away from today to help you in your digital solution search. 1. Avoid overspending on tools you don't need. 2. Always do your research and consider your team's needs. 3. Watch for warning signs like hidden costs and complex licensing agreements. 4. Keep things simple. Start with tools that are easy to use and will scale with you as you grow. 5. Consider working with a business architect if you need guidance on tech direction. I hope these tips help you avoid tech purchase regret in the future. And if you've experienced any tech regrets or have other tips that you've seen work for you or someone else, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who could use more business architecture guidance or digital strategy tips. See you in the next time.